Just a quick word on the Princess of Wales. Obviously, she didn't make the concert for kind of obvious reasons. It's a long old evening. We did see her at Trooping. I think we both agreed she was fantastic, and it was brilliant to see her. We are asked by the Palace not to speculate on when we might see her next, but there have been people at Wimbledon who are saying that they are hoping that the Princess of Wales might turn up to present. So well, she does it every year. She has done for the last 8 or 9 years. She loves attending Wimbledon. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, she loves attending the ceremony the week before Trooping the Colour as well, where she's Colonel-in-Chief, and she didn't do it, sent them a very nice letter explaining why she couldn't do it. I think the people at Wimbledon would love to have Catherine back there again, because it will boost the viewing audience and it'll boost people being there. The problem with it is that when we first found out about her cancer, various people were putting dates on about when she was due to come back. She was going to be back in late April. She was going to be back after, for Trooping, and she was going to be back for whatever. We just don't know when she is going to be back. It would be nice to think that she could at least make, 1 or 2 days at Wimbledon. But if she doesn't, well, then we'll just have to be patient, because I'm hopefully she'll be back one day.
Well, they were talking a couple of weeks ago. They were saying, her doctors, her medical team say that she needs to be doing things that she finds fun. So part of her recovery is to do things that she enjoys. So it's taken, doing, being with the children, doing family things at home and stuff like that. And I have to say, they keep asking us not to speculate.
No.
But not
it's
to put
hard,
any pressure on her.
It's
it
hard.
really is, because it's kind of our job to not put too much pressure on her. But the Wimbledon have kind of set the hair running by saying that they want her to appear. So I think we'll have to wait.
Didn't the army get ticked off at the start by saying that she was going to turn up to one of either the event before or Trooping the Colour? And the Palace weren't very happy with them, at that point speculating. But maybe they had some insider knowledge, just a bit like the Tory party, really.
Another thing the Princess of Wales has missed was the state visit.
Yeah,
I quite enjoyed the state visit. I've been to many outgoing state visits where the King and Queen have gone abroad. This was an incoming state visit from the Japanese Emperor and Empress, who were very close to the late Queen and are very close to King Charles.
Yes, they are, and the Emperor especially. Well, they both spent time at Oxford for a start off, to continue their education. But the Emperor, went fly fishing with the King when he was Prince of Wales, and admitted that he never caught a thing that day. He's been carriage driving with Prince Philip, and he's been to a barbecue with the late Queen. Now, those are the 2 or 3 things that we know that they were linked with, but I'm sure there was a lot more. And I think the old Emperor, well, he's not so old, I think the Emperor enjoyed, being there. And when they were having the walk round with inspecting the troops, the honour guard, you could just see the smiles on both the Emperor's face and the King's face. Yeah, no, it's very, very good.
Well, why are state visits important? There's a lot of pomp and ceremony, and they're a bit distant maybe from members of the public and people watching it. Is it important? Is it politics at play here? Why is it vital? Why do we have so many?
Well, I think we have state visits, and we make state visits because it enhances diplomacy between two countries, and it leads to, or it should lead to a trade involvement. We get some stuff from them, they get some stuff from us. You have to remember that although all we see is the pomp and ceremony that goes on, but behind the scenes, he's got a whole team of advisors dealing with their opposite numbers in this country. And it's the same when we go abroad. We go abroad and we take a whole team in the hope that we can enhance stuff for Britain. So from that point of view, it's very, very important.
It's the soft power, isn't it?
It is the soft power, but it has in the past given some good things for the country and given our trade to and fro an excellent boost.
I'm assuming that you must have been on many state visits, incoming and outgoing. Both world leaders coming here, but also the late Queen or going abroad. I mean, is there any examples that you think of where they've had a diplomatic success or anything that's really worked really well?
Well, ironically, during the Cold War in 1967, officials asked the Duke of Edinburgh how he felt about making a state visit to Russia. And he said, yeah, I don't mind, I'd like very much to go to Russia, although the B word murdered half my family. So that was his initial expression. He and Princess Anne then went to an equestrian event in Kyiv in 1973. And then you roll on to 1994, and Prince Charles, as he was then, made a visit to Moscow. And then the big one came later that year. The Queen visited Russia. First monarch and only monarch of this of our country to visit Russia. Clearly, there's not going to be another visit in the very near future. But that was a marvellous trip with the Queen. I mean, it was just, she was feted. The thousands and thousands of people in the street trying to see her. Streets were closed and everything else. So I think she felt, and she told people that was probably the most important state visit that she ever made, purely because it was Russia.
One of the most interesting aspects of the Japanese state visit I found was the Japanese emperor going to see the late Queen's final resting place. This is quite a rare event. I think Prince Harry maybe went last year and had private time. And
yes.
Because she's in the royal vault. If you're a tourist, you go into the chapel at Windsor Castle, and you can peer through to her ledger with her name on. He got some private time there and laid some flowers. I'm fascinated by that, because that could become a pilgrimage for other world leaders now. What's your thoughts?
I'm not so sure if it would become a pilgrimage for other world leaders. I think there was a special case for the emperor because he knew the late Queen very, very well, and as he's described the royal family as his second family. So I think that was something special, purely for him. And it could well, but maybe that future state visits will involve the visiting head of state visiting the late Queen. It's hard to really work that out.
Yeah, I'd like to see it.
It'd be nice.
I just think
it would be nice to see it, especially if it's someone that she herself had met before, that they were given that right or that accolade to go and pay their respects to the late Queen.
Yeah, it can't become gaudy. It can't become like a novel. It can't become like a gimmick where every world leader comes and
I don't think
time.
there was any pictures or anything. I don't think there was any.
No, it was private. It was private.
Yeah.
We laid flowers on there, and I just thought it was a.
Yeah, it was a nice gesture.
Yeah, you can see how it pans out in the future. We mentioned Prince Harry went to the late Queen's, which was a final resting place. But we've seen him this week for the first time in weeks, if not months. What did you make of that? He did a little, it was quite a nice, worthy chat with the charity that he's quite close to, talking about something quite close to his heart, which is grievance and loss.
Yes, it was nice. That's Scotty's Little Soldiers, isn't it? That's the charity that helps the children of any military personnel who die in action. And that is a charity that's very, very close to his heart. And yes, he was involved in talks with the organisers as well as some of the children, talking about bereavement and grief. And Harry has, as we know, has talked about his grief over his late mother, although she wasn't in effect a military personnel. But it's still, whether you're a military or whether you're not a military, the loss of a parent like that is devastating and traumatic on anybody, especially when they're so young. But no, it was nice to see him doing something, I'm not trying to be churlish, doing something worthwhile for a change.